Hey there. So, one theme that's been coming up for me a lot lately with clients is how to deal with different types of difficult personalities, if they're in your family or friends or spouses or people you work with. So, like different types of difficult personalities or personalities that don't mesh with yours, or maybe you don't know how to deal with. And one of them that keeps coming up is the passive aggressive, the people that are passive aggressive, or even, and there's a little bit of an overlap between passive aggressive and being the martyr. The thing that they both have in common is they often supply very little information before the event, before what's going on, before something goes wrong, but then end up with a whole ton of resentment when the thing that they didn't communicate didn't happen. So if this sounds familiar to you, let me know. This whole idea of wanting to serve others, wanting to have a happy, experience, wanting to, flow and minimize any type of conflict, but doing so with someone that doesn't communicate to you what they need in order to prevent the conflict, or in order to not be disappointed, or in order to, not feel resentment towards not getting what they wanted, but not communicating what they wanted. And so, as we all know, we cannot control other people. We can't control the way they think, the way they speak, the way they communicate, all of those things. All we can do is control ourselves. So the first key in dealing with someone that is passive aggressive, or, playing the martyr, is that first is the acceptance that they will be disappointed with you. Just will. There is, in fact, it's going to be almost impossible to go through the rest of your life in a relationship with this person with them not being disappointed or not feeling resentment towards you for doing something that you didn't know you were supposed to do. Just coming to acceptance that disappointment or resentment is going to happen. It is, in fact, going to be a part of your relationship, period. So what that means is you get to skip the part where you blame yourself for it happening, you blame them for it happening, you go through this whole series of how could I have prevented what's wrong with me? Why did this happen? I'm so blindsided. Why did they keep doing this? Skip that part. Just skip it. Just get past that part. And then get to how do I recover from this? Just go straight to recovery. Skip the part where you blame either you or them or both of you, whatever. Just skip that part. Come to acceptance. They will be upset with you. They will have times of resentment or disappointment in you, and just start to figure out how you recover from that resentment or disappointment. If this is their personality trait that they have with everyone, they're used to it. They are so used to being disappointed. They are so used to feeling resentment. And so it's not as strong for them as it is for you. And so all you could do is focus on the recovery from this more than the actual event itself. So that's number one. Come to acceptance that that is going to be a part of your relationship. They are going to be disappointed and have resentment. The way that you can minimize that, one way that you can help reduce the number of times that this happens, is, again, knowing you can't control them, you can only control yourself, is you taking the lead in the communication, knowing that your communication is stronger than theirs, that is going to be your superpower. And at times it may not feel fair, or, whatever all those assessments are that we have, all those opinions on what equal looks like. And we'll get into that in another video. But taking the lead in the communication. And the idea here is you might be tempted to approach someone like this with all of the options and just saying, well, tell me what you want. And then that's too much for them. And they're like, I don't care, whatever you want. And then you pick something and they're like, well, that's not what I wanted. So getting specific, get super specific and take the role in the specificity. And if you need to, remind them why you're being specific. Listen, I want us to come out on the other side of this event, on the other side of this project, on the other side of this conversation, on the other side of this weekend, on the other side of whatever it is, being happy and closer to each other. And so one way for this to happen is for us to identify with specificity before going in. What are your must-haves? What are the things that you will be disappointed if they don't happen for you? Get specific. And it is going to have to be, because it is your superpower, not theirs, it's going to have to be your role to lead the conversation, boil things down to measurable results so that you will know for sure if you got there or not. And then you will be able to say, this was the request, this is what happened. So that you can make it measurable, not better, bigger, higher, more, measurable. I want to spend 3 hours doing this. I want to go to this particular location. I want, like, get really specific in order for them to be able to get specific and name what they want. They may not, chances are they don't know. This isn't on purpose for them. They just don't get close enough. So you can guide them closer to their goal, make it super specific, ask all the questions needed, remind them why. You're not prying. What you're doing is setting yourselves up for success, whatever the two of you decide success looks like. So there we are. One, come to acceptance that they are who they are, and the repercussions of their communication style is one in which they end up being disappointed or resentful. Accept that that's going to happen throughout your relationship. And then 2, to minimize the numbers or the intensity of that disappointment or resentment, get specific and you drive the boat. Let me know what you think. Tell me your thoughts on this. And by all means, please ask me questions. Ask me what you want to hear about next. What is an issue that is reoccurring for you, or even just current right now? Write me, send me a video or an audio message asking your question, and I will answer them for you here. So you could just email me at nancy@nancymartincoaching.com. Check out that website, and you can, find contact way there. Put things in the chat below, do whatever you need to do to get these questions to me, and I will gladly answer them for you here. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next Tuesday.